deep diving into these cases is like dancing with the devil. But when you dance with the devil doesn't change. He changes you. Good morning, one and all. Hope you all are having a fantastic weekend so far. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hey. So yeah, I want to talk about Kiely Rodni case and focus on law enforcement because what I've seen from them is weird, and honestly I could go either way, corruption or incompetence, but something's definitely very, very wrong there. Of course, we could say that about all aspects of this case. It just drives me nuts. Hello, Christy Rose, Unique Trauma Obsessed, Tanya, good to see ya. So yeah, come on in, grab your coffee, and let's chat about this. Hey, wee Scottish Ma. Tracy, Chatty Jen. Hi. So just give it a couple minutes for people to get in here. Got a few people live this morning, so there may not be so many people in here, but that's all right. I'm going to say my shit anyway. You think it's both, Tanya? Yeah. Sue Fisher, hello. Darzilla, what up? Just getting my chat on here. Say it, baby. Yeah. Yeah, the Beard of Reason has some thoughts about law enforcement. And just the whole thing in general just isn't adding up. There are problems. Big, giant, glaring red flags, and law enforcement doesn't seem to give a shit. The family doesn't seem to give a shit. The friends don't seem to give a shit. It's like, what's going on? What's the matter with y'all?
Chadijan, Darzilla, Tanya, Wee Scottish Ma, Unique Trauma Obsessed, Krista Rose. It's probably gonna take. I didn't even get my notification yet. So.
And you just died, JC. Well, we can get started with it. So let's start with once Kiely is reported missing. Law enforcement searches this area, which is normal. Last known location, yada, yada, yada. They apparently searched the water to come up empty, which doesn't make sense. They should have found that vehicle because you've all seen AWP's searches of the other bodies of water as well as Prosser Reservoir. And you can tell just from their video that that is the easiest place for a vehicle to go into the water. I mean, there's a great big beach there. People drive their vehicles right down to the shore. Like that's the area that I would be searching for sure. Of all the bodies of water, that's the one. But somehow the divers missed the car, or the car wasn't there. That's a possibility. Unique Trauma Obsessed, Tracy. Justice for Aaron. Grandpa and Dad very supportive. Mom is silent, as per Doug from AWP. Oh, they are? Yeah, they are. Well, yeah, we'll just leave that at that. Cotton candy boobs. Wear my shirt. That's what I do. I grow a beard and I know things. Hey, Kimmikins. All right, so they fudged up the search. Water didn't seem that murky. It wasn't. I know some people said it was crystal clear. No, I mean where AWP found the car sitting right on top of it, they couldn't see the car below them. So it wasn't crystal clear. But that shouldn't matter. I mean, the diver should have the same equipment AWP has. I mean, like just a regular fish finder, anything, should be able to detect a large object like a vehicle. But honestly, I don't think they did that with the water. I think that's why they missed it. I don't think they even bothered. But why tell AWP that they've searched that lake extensively and AWP doesn't need to search there? That's weird. Hey, Anonymous Biker USA. When you say they're sassy pants. So yeah, like it'd be one thing if, AWP comes in, they say, okay, well, we haven't had dive teams in the water, so there is a chance. I mean, when you have a person go missing, water is one of the options. When you can't locate the vehicle, it's not the only option. Like they could have just thought, oh, maybe she drove 50 miles away or whatever. You never know. Stitching, bitching, and true crime. Hello. No, not crystal clear, but they made it sound like it was just so murky and a struggle, and exactly like you said, going on. Tell them no need to search just there. Yeah. Hey, Mandy K. That's another thing. They didn't expect the case to get as popular as it has on social media. Beard is getting ready for winter. Yes, it is. But anyway, so that's the big red flag right there. If they searched it extensively, legitimately, that's the only reason that they should have said to AWP, well, we went over this and over this and over this. It'd be a waste of your time to go in there. But obviously they didn't. Or the vehicle was placed there somewhere after law enforcement searched it and before AWP searched it, and no one saw.
That's what I think.
I mean, that is a possibility. That's just, for my thinking, it's just very unlikely.
The timing of that, though, in some lives that happened with the Zanime and Ryan Upchurch, like, he called out time frames, and it's no mistake after that live of her screaming and yelling at him, it was 24 hours later. There's something weird with that. The timing is...
Well, there's something weird with all of it, but yeah. You keep hearing some of the kids' parents are cops.
Yeah, and pretty big attorneys and stuff in Cali.
Oh, I'm pretty sure that's why, like, if a girl goes missing from a party, they should have been contacting all the parents of the kids and the adults that were at the party and subpoenaing their phones so they can go through and look for pictures. As far as I've heard, they didn't do that. They pretty much just said, okay, well, if anyone wants to come forward and talk, you can. And it was Sammy who basically was the spearhead. Yeah, come talk to me, not law enforcement, which was just stupid. I mean, I get that there are people who will talk to another teenager before they'll talk to police because they don't want to be in trouble. But I mean, a person is missing. That has to take priority over you getting grounded for whatever. But anyway, so yeah, just a piss poor search of the water, or they didn't do it at all and just assumed, well, no one's going to drive a vehicle in there. Case closed. And then not doing anything with partygoers, not actively getting their phones to look for pictures. Nothing. Now we come to the vehicle is found. They're not going to give us a report on the vehicle, yada, yada, yada. But when they brought it out, they did do a fair bit of damage to the vehicle, which I guess it can happen. You know, you're trying to move something that big, it's full of water, it wouldn't be easy. So yeah, a broken mirror and another window. Yeah, I can see that happening. But what really got me, and I never even thought this, like this, I just assumed that law enforcement would do this. They pulled the vehicle out. They did not go back in there to pick up anything that had fallen out of the vehicle. It was, what, Check It TV? Is that his name? He went in there and apparently found a bunch of stuff. Now, why would law enforcement not do that? Why would they leave everything down there? Like at that point, when they pulled the vehicle out, they didn't know if it was an accident. They didn't know if it was a murder. They didn't know if it was self-harm. They didn't know. All they knew was they had the vehicle and they had a deceased female in the back of it. That's all they knew. So they pull the vehicle out and leave. They didn't go back in there to look for anything that may have fallen out of the 3 open windows. Like there was laptop charger, phone, clothing, maybe a possible murder weapon. I mean, at this point, they had no idea, but they didn't even go back in there. So, are they incompetent or corrupt? I think both. But, like, that wasn't even a thought in my head that they wouldn't have gone back in to gather up, you know, even try and, like, get some of the glass, just like clean it up, right? Just for like the environmental sake. But they didn't do that, and not only that, they didn't even go back in there to look to see what had fallen out of the vehicle. Like how, if you're law enforcement, how can you do that shitty of a job? Like that's beyond ridiculous. The divers were there. They were right there. They come out of the water once the vehicle was getting pulled, which obviously, yeah, you wouldn't stay down there while it's getting pulled out for safety reasons. But they didn't go back in. Like they should have gone back in immediately. It's like, hey, now go down and see what all fell out because we need to have everything for evidence. We don't know what happened to this girl yet. We don't even know who this girl is yet. But nothing. And then you got some, well, I don't want to say anything negative, but bringing stuff he found up and touching it and everything, like that's just not smart. If he found it, he should have, he had one of those cameras that could actually go underwater. He should have gone down there, taken some pictures of it, and then gone to the police station and said that. Said he found the stuff and had the divers go and get it. But even then, okay, so it was a mistake to bring it up. Okay. I mean, people don't, think like they're on NCIS, right? But then law enforcement doesn't even want the stuff. And apparently, cause of death hasn't even been concluded yet. I mean, they haven't said anything. So, and they do say it's still an open investigation. Well, no, it's not, because you got evidence here and you don't even want to get off your ass to come collect it. So what's up with that? Like, are they just going to feed a narrative no matter what, unless someone finds some glaring evidence that they can't refute? And they're just hoping it goes away and it gets ruled as an accident? Or are they just that stupid that they can't figure out, oh yeah, this was hers? Maybe there's something on it that can tell us what was going on. Maybe there's something behind this whole MILF thing that people leave on her memorial and is actually on her laptop. Maybe it's some kind of club. I mean, they do have some odd traditions there. We heard Sammy talking about they have boxing gloves and actually have fights. That's not something that typically happens at a party. Like people will have get in fights when you have lots of people drinking. You kind of have fights, but not controlled fights with gloves and stuff like that. And why was there no video of that? Why is there no video of anything happening at this party? The party happened apparently not even a quarter mile from that water, and that many kids. I guarantee you some of the kids ended up down by that water. So it just doesn't make sense. And the other giant red glaring flag for me is Nick. Nick's story, if believable, proves beyond a doubt Kiely was alive past that party, hours after the party ended. So the odds of her accidentally driving to that water went from slim to chances are higher of you winning the lottery. It just did not happen. If Nick's story is true, this was not an accident. 99.9%. Absolutely not. Because she would have had to go, she wasn't even at Prosser Lake. She was somewhere else. So she would have had to go back there and somehow accidentally drive in during the day when there's always people around and no one saw. And not be able to get out, even though you had a window down and another one broken, although we don't know if it was broken before the vehicle went in the water or after. But still, for the love of books, welcome to the team, girl. Thank you very much. So, yeah, and now apparently law enforcement has the video and all that footage from the roadside assistance company, because Nick said that the video, they have cameras on the vehicle, yada yada yada, and it was all sent to law enforcement. So they got that, but then they don't even want her belongings, the items that were in the car. Help me make sense of this. How does this make sense to anybody? I don't get it. Yeah, it may not have been Kiely. It may not have even been Kiely's car. We don't know. We didn't see. But I'm saying if his story is true, if Nick's story is true, and it was Kiely, and it was Kiely's vehicle, then law enforcement doesn't want the items that were in Kiely's car? Are those her belongings? Well, they may not be. They might be someone else's. But either way, you got a vehicle found in the water, and then you have various items from laptops and chargers to whatever found in that same water, like, why would law enforcement not want that stuff? I mean, if they look at it and they realize it has nothing to do with Kiely or the situation, fine. But at least take it. Like, law enforcement has not done a good job handling this case. And honestly, we see this over and over again. Whenever these crimes happen, look at Summer Wells. It's ridiculous. And Gabby Petito, another one. Law enforcement dropping the ball, not doing their job, being lazy, being shady. It's like, can we even trust law enforcement to investigate anything at this point? Prosser Creek is federal land. That's why FBI was involved. If it's federal, it automatically FBI gets involved. But yes. I could not agree with this statement more, Jason. Yeah, they just want their paycheck. And how do they get money? They take money from us. You got people parking trying to catch someone going 5 miles an hour over the speed limit. Meanwhile, around the corner, you got someone selling heroin or crack or fentanyl. Or you got people going missing. You have bodies winding up in the backs of cars underwater. And yeah, we're doing everything we can. No, you're not. You're not doing everything you can. You got people going in there and doing your job for you, finding the evidence for you, and you don't even want to come pick it up. That happened with Gabby Petito. What was it, Bullhorn? Was it Bullhorn Betty? Oh, I think she's downstairs. They found some stuff of Gabby's, and they had to actually take it down to the police station because cops didn't even want to come get it. Like, what the hell is the matter with you guys? This makes no sense at all. None. I'll have to... I can't click. I gotta go into YouTube on my computer to see that link, Cotton Candy. Just give me 1 second. Oh, I think I was watching this on Twitter. Okay. Oh, I'm going to share my screen, let you guys see this. There's music, so I may get a copyright. But actually, I won't share the sound because there's no point. It's just music playing. Okay. Less than 24 hours before laptop and other items were recovered. Just having some fun out at the beach. I don't know if that's the exact same place, but yeah. So maybe that's another thing that's been going around, that maybe some people had some personal effects of Kiely's and threw them in the water after the fact. Maybe. Oh, he took the music out? Okay. Well, either way. Hey, Spooky Spoon. Patrick Patterson. Yeah, I got good mods over here. Imagine all the people that hasn't been found underwater where Ellie is searched. But a lot of families are now questioning if law enforcement did that good of a job. Yeah, I know I sure would be. 24 years ago, it's still hard. Parents and Ellie in this case, just bring it all back. No charges in my girl's case due to Ellie misconduct. It's getting ready to happen again. That's awful, Kelly. I'm so sorry. Boo boo kitty meow. But the laptop and hairbrush was in the car. Well, yeah, if it's... I'll have to go back and actually watch AWP's dive video to see if you can see that laptop and stuff in the car. I think we could see the charger. But I think, logically, you could assume that that stuff was in the car and then it fell out when they tipped the vehicle over to pull it out. But the other thing is why did everyone get so mad at AWP? Because they made a trailer and they put out a polished video. That's what YouTubers do. Like, there's a reason the top YouTubers have expensive microphones and cameras and lights and everything. It's to make things as much like a high quality movie as anything else. That's because the viewers demand it. Would you seriously, would you want to watch that dive if it was in like 240p and all you could hear was the wind and the occasional bit of talking and there was like 30 minutes of nothing happening and all this? No. AWP is good at what they do with the diving and everything, but that's only one aspect of their success. They are professional. They have to portray themselves as professionals. So when they are seen in the public through video, it has to look professional. I never had any issue with them, the way they did it. I mean, they don't charge the families for doing this. They make, well, not all of their money from YouTube, but they make a bulk of their money from YouTube. So they have to do a good job on YouTube. It means high quality video, high quality audio, entertaining. It has to keep the audience engaged. Like, what they did was fine. I don't know why people started hating on them. They should have been getting praised, which a lot of people did praise them, and they deserve praise. True Crime Loving Blonde. No, not super late. We started 29 minutes ago. But yeah, I haven't really been watching the chat too much, so if you guys got any thoughts or opinions about law enforcement or just anything about this case, if you want to talk about, just let me know in the chat. Hey, Zena. AWP shouldn't be harassed. I think for Hunter, it's a live law enforcement training event. However, AWP does a great humanitarian service. In my opinion, don't attack good people. Yeah. Well, I don't like this whole attacking anybody online. It's not for me. I don't think, I mean, if you don't like what someone else is doing on YouTube, then just don't watch. But, we love to get in our little squabbles and conflicts, and It's entertaining. But yeah, it's just not me. Do we know if she was pregnant? I have not heard any of that. I honestly doubt it. The only thing that I have when I think about a woman being pregnant is usually their maternal instincts overpower their need to party. They either stop drinking or cut way down on it, stop with drugs, that kind of thing. And obviously, she wasn't doing that. Now, not saying it's possible. It's not possible that she was pregnant and still going to live her life anyway. There are women who do that. I'm not here to adjust anyone's moral compass. But of the younger women I've known who have gotten pregnant, they did step up and do the right thing for their unborn child. That's not saying everybody will, but yeah. Is it true AWP came a day early and started searching? I'm not sure. I know, like, at the start, just from what we were hearing, it sounded like AWP came there, went right to Prosser Lake, dumped their boats in, and 20 minutes later found Kiely. No, that's not what happened. They searched. There is, I think, 4 other bodies of water that they searched first. They were there for a while. I'm going with lazy and treated her like a runaway and never cared. Yep. AWP arrived Friday and started searching Saturday. I'm not sure about the days, but that would make sense. You know, they drive up there, get settled in, and then first thing in the morning start their thing. That would make sense to me. I don't know. People are ashamed of themselves not being there, not being able to be there. Some seem to really want to be in the middle of things, like they're part of family or something. So many crazies interested. Yeah. We always see that. We always see these weirdos insert themselves in these cases. I don't know why. I don't know why you would want to tie yourself to something so horrible, but people do. And it happens all the time. Who do you think the one main agency was that invited AWP? I believe they weren't invited. From what, I can't remember his name, but one of them, the guy with the really awesome beard, he said it was fellow YouTubers. It was their YouTube viewers who started filling up their email with this case. So then they decided to go. Doug. Yeah, that sounds right. Steve H's last video at 205 people saying it looks like a phone. Are you talking about Check It TV? I thought that was Check It TV. I know he did this live and there's really crappy connection. And he did dunk his phone in there and you could see something, but I don't know. It looked awfully big to be a phone. I live in Nevada County. Nobody here has big parties without Ellie knowing and showing. He said in another channel, when asked, it was 1 minute, one main agency. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Yeah, I saw him. Now, one interview said it was viewers. So maybe they got a bunch of viewers saying that, and then AWP possibly reached out to law enforcement, say, hey, we want to come help. And they said, yeah, sure. I don't know. I don't know, and honestly, I don't really care. I don't care who got them there. I just care that they got there and they found her. Foul play is involved. It's going to be very hard to prosecute. Civilians found all the evidence, and a good defense attorney will have that thrown out, that there's no excuse. Yeah. They said it was YouTube and an agency, yeah. Yeah, I heard them say it was YouTubers, and someone else had heard them say it was an agency. Those thumbs up? Okay. I had to double check, Tracy, if those were thumbs up or giving me the finger. It's odd kids don't have charged phones or something. Them portable devices are handy, sort of. Yeah, that's another thing. Well, we heard Sammy say that they had actually, during the party, had gone to Kiely's car and charged their phones. Now, I get they'd be using them a lot, but yeah, I am not 100% sure that her phone was dead. She might have just shut it off. Renee P. How many parents with a dead child won't intervene when an 18-year-old takes over and law enforcement don't stop her from conducting investigations? Yeah, she was kind of like praised for that, and I'm watching this, I'm like, what? Like, I understand, in a way, I kind of understand the concept. Yeah, teenagers aren't going to want to talk to cops because they don't want to get in trouble. So I get it, but at the same time, I mean, this is a missing human being, so your worry about your parents finding out that you smoked weed and getting grounded shouldn't matter. No, kids can be selfish or whatever. And there are lots of people who just won't talk to law enforcement because they don't like cops, so I get it. But, like, how does this having a go-between, like, that's... I don't like that. Did anyone confirm this stuff belongs to Kiely? I don't know, Deborah. I think we can probably assume that it came from Kiely's vehicle. Whether or not everything belonged to Kiely is another question. Someone had to buy the alcohol. I think some parents did it, hence why parents telling kids not to talk. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised by that at all. Because some of the kids there, they had parents and law enforcement and attorneys and higher up positions. And yeah, the worry of this embarrassment or shame brought upon the family name. Yeah. I heard a woman make a comment the other night to a YouTuber while Kiely is found a real case. She went on to say, I was told Summers was operation for the public. I'm not too sure what you're getting at, Kimberly. Grandpa took the laptop, then gave to the police. which is stupid. Because if there's anything on there that could point to somebody wanting to hurt Kiely, like someone said, and any defense attorney could have that thrown out because law enforcement did not collect it from the site. And not only that, it had to go from the person who found it to another person and then the law enforcement. And what's with the clock on putting out more information? What did they say, November 30th or something like that? Like, why have such a specific date? Do they already have the information and they're just sitting on it? Or do they somehow know that they're going to find everything out by then so they can make this statement? It's weird. Why do these cases seem to get distorted, messed up with misinformation, rumors, and quite simply lies? There are so many versions. Well, I'll tell you, the biggest reason is us. Because there are too many people who will look at something and say that this is what it is, and other people will just go along with it, when in reality they got it wrong. That's why I'm always very skeptical. If I don't know something, I will say, I don't know. But, yeah, whenever you have a bunch of people looking into details of something, they're going to pick up on things. And a lot of times they're on the right track, but then they're going to pick up on things that just logically don't make sense. But that doesn't matter, because if they've got a big enough channel, people are going to take everything they say and run with it no matter what. I'll give you a perfect example. How many of you, I don't know how many of you have followed the Chris Watts case. But in that case, there was this one thing. People were talking about this over and over and over and over again. When the police were checking the house out, they look out the back and you can see a man walking with a shovel. So he must have been the one. He must have buried Shanann and all this. And it was huge in the Chris Watts world. So big. There were people like thinking, yep, that was the guy. That was the guy who helped kill everybody and bury them. You can see him right there. Okay, dummy. This was the next day or the day after. So if you go and if you help kill somebody, take them to another place, bury them, are you going to go back to the crime scene and just walk around with a shovel? No, that's stupid. The other point. There was construction going on in that area that guy was walking. There were new houses being built. So a guy with a shovel would not be out of place. But the biggest point is, turns out it wasn't a shovel. All you had to do was zoom in and you could see it was a tripod. That would either be for a cameraman or a surveyor. But yeah. It was not a shovel. It was not the accomplice. It was a tripod. But that was going around like everybody's just blowing this thing up. And it was because one person saw this and before looking into things and really getting a grasp of what you just saw, boom, throw it on YouTube. And shit just blows up. That's why we get these half-cocked theories and BS, because people don't look into the things that they find and they don't realize the full truth. They put it out there and before you know it, yep, it's over. Then you got some stupid ass theory that doesn't make sense. And then you'll have other people try and expound on that, and it just gets weirder and weirder and weirder because it's not true. They're just trying to jam pieces into a puzzle that don't fit. When it's the truth, it fits. It makes sense. That's why I don't think that Kiely accidentally drove into that water, because that's a long ways. And people, that's another thing. At the start of this, I've had people in every single live I've done, and before they started showing all the video, saying, "Oh, that was a really steep cliff. It's totally easy for someone to accidentally drive in there. Just miss the turn on the road and you're out of control." No, it's a gentle, sloping, rough road. You aren't going to accidentally go down there. People drive down there all the time, right to the water in their vehicles, to have picnics, fish, whatever. No, it wasn't exactly missed a turn and oh my God and panic, and no. It'd probably take 30 seconds from the top of that where the road ends. If you just put the vehicle in neutral and left it, it'd probably take 30 seconds for it to reach the water. It's a huge beach. But that was going around because one person said it, and other people just take it for truth, and that's why we get stupid theories. Oh, Sheila, I was talking about Chris Watts. That was a big case on YouTube. It still is. But the beach thing I'm talking about is Kiely Rodni. So many parents left town when AWP came. It's very suspect to me. Sammy is, I don't know. There's something that doesn't sit right with me with Sammy. Like she did an interview, I can't remember what YouTube channel it was, but she did not seem upset. In fact, she was smiling sometimes. Like it seemed to me like she barely knew Kiely. Like if this is a person you're close with, like you're not, no. I mean, I get people grieve in different ways, and you can't use that as a template, but I mean, it seemed like she was trying to do everything to keep the investigation from moving forward, telling everybody, come talk to me, I'll decide if what you have is valid. Like, no, no. Yeah. Money, all our tips to go to her? Yeah, that's no. When she made that speech, law enforcement should have stepped in right then and said no. I understand that this would be an easier way for kids to come and talk, but we need to hear all information so we can decide what's valid and what's not. You can't leave it up to a kid, especially a kid who apparently just lost her good friend. She's not going to be thinking clearly. So, no, the fact that law enforcement even allowed that is beyond me. Absolutely beyond me. Well, I try to be as logical as possible, Allison. Thank you. I don't like... That's why I only got 174 people in here, because I don't go off on the half-cocked theories. I wondered about that, honestly, stitching, bitching, and true crime, when I first got into this, because, okay, we have a girl who was homeschooled, and she was accelerated, so obviously she was, like, kids who are accelerated through grades generally are very intelligent, but antisocial, and they have very demanding parents. Couple that with her lack of social media for a teenage girl is very odd. And the other thing that I thought is she was at this party and she did this at the party, which is what we thought initially. And nobody, like she was at a party with 400 people and she was like off on her own with enough time to go and do this. Yeah, like, so that painted a picture to me of this, kind of a loner with very harsh parents. So I did entertain the idea, but I honestly don't think that that's what happened. Lady Cat, new to your channel, just want to say thank you. There's so many unanswered questions, things that just don't make sense. There's something definitely wrong here. There is. Absolutely, there is something very wrong. I don't know what the hell is law enforcement's problem. They're either incompetent or corrupt, or both. But no. They did not do this investigation correctly. And why did everyone's mood change once she was found? Like everyone was all, oh, we're all so happy people are helping and this and that. And then she's found and like everybody's pissed off. This is like very, very weird. She lived off the grid also explains lack of social media to me. It can. Actually, my buddy, he has 2 daughters, and neither of them have very big social media presence. And yeah, they're happy, very bright kids. They're going to go a long way in life. Yeah. So it's not just because they don't have social media, something's wrong. No, there are instances where that's just not their thing. Not everyone is on social media, but it does seem that there are more people on it than not. Like some people, they have it, they're not on it all the time, but I mean, she really didn't have much. Chief B, hello. I didn't really have much social media before I did YouTube. I mean, I had Facebooks, but I never did anything with them. There was one for work and then my personal one, but I never really did much on there. It wasn't until I got into doing YouTube that I really started with social media. So I get it. I mean, it's not for everybody. But I mean, of all people, like if you were to pick a demographic of who is going to be on social media the most, teenage girls. They didn't want her found. I'm thinking that. I really am. Because it was like AWP came along and just threw a big wrench into it. Everyone's pissed off. They should have had a frickin' parade for them. Yeah, if the sheriff's kid was there. That's another thing. The sheriff's kid, apparently at the party. Nick, maybe being at the party. And the way Nick spoke was, there's a certain way law enforcement speaks. Like a civilian would just say, yeah, I pulled in here and I saw her car pulled up and parked. Or as a cop would say, I arrived on scene, noticed the vehicle, and approached, right? They have a different way of wording things, and Nick did that a couple of times in his interview with AWP. So a lot of people thought maybe he was a plant, tickling the wire, just trying to see if that would get anybody talking, and that could be. It could be that he is just a roadside assistance person, and he just got called and showed up there. Or it could be that he's just some psycho who wanted to insert himself in a story, because we see that happen. Like, has anyone actually confirmed he worked with that? Like, beyond any doubt that he actually worked for this company? Does he actually, is that his actual job? I don't know. They're going to say it's an accident, yeah. Yeah. I agree, Allison. They're going to wait till November 30th and hope and pray that as many people as possible just wash their hands of this case and walk away, and then they're going to say it was an accident, which does not make sense. I think it's been confirmed too, but I don't know it's been confirmed. So the one thing I've learned in doing true crime, until I know it didn't happen. Until I see proof, I am not believing it. Maybe I'm a bit too jaded, a bit too analytical, a bit too guarded with this stuff. And I should say, okay, well, we can assume this, but I can't. I've seen so many people. If you guys followed the Chris Watts case, you'd be paranoid too. Honestly, because that case is so bad. We had people trying to say that they were in touch with Chris Watts, involved with Chris Watts romantically and whatnot. There were these motions that were being filed, and they needed financial help to hire lawyers for Chris to help fight these things. None of that is true. None of it. Chris Watts is serving the rest of his life in prison for murder, and nothing is happening. There's no, I can't remember what the hell, there was some kind of motion, not an appeal, but similar to that. That's not happening. Nothing's happening. He's not getting out. But people will not let it go. And people will still keep talking about this. So there's going to be those awful, awful human beings who see that as an opportunity to scrape some money away from people. Say, yeah, I'm working to find lawyers and stuff like that, and we're working on getting a new trial and stuff, but we need help with the money because lawyers aren't cheap, yada, yada, yada. And people fall for it. People give thousands of dollars, and then nothing happens. Just gone. Peggy, you believe the results will be foul play. Otherwise, police are going to have a huge lawsuit on their hands. Reno Gazette Journal says results will be released in 2 weeks. 2 weeks, okay. Well,
November something. 2
Oh.
months.
Yeah. And the law enforcement, well, I don't know where I heard that either, but I've heard from a few people that the end of November, they're going to do a press release. So, I don't know. And I can understand if they are investigating and they suspect foul play. They got to keep their cards close to their chest. They can't tell the public a lot. But on the other side of that, if they are wondering about foul play, when someone's finding laptops and stuff in the water where her vehicle was, why the hell are you not rushing out there saying, do not touch it any more than you have. Stay there. We are on the way. Why are you not doing that? So, yeah. Plunder requested an FOIA. That's another thing. I don't trust those either. Because I know I keep bringing up this case that probably most of you never followed, but that happened with the Chris Watts case. We had this thousands of pages of discovery. But what we ended up realizing is some people had more than others. And then there was a bunch of weird stuff added to it that had nothing to do with the case. So yeah, I mean, law enforcement may say, yeah, this is all the information we have on this incident. I guarantee you it's not. Yeah, redacted discovery. There'll be something redacted. There'll be something removed. Guaranteed.
Well, they're already bringing up that she's a minor, so it won't be released. And that's where,
Plus, she's a minor, so information will be limited.
when Up Church was like, that doesn't make sense, blah, 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 blah. It makes sense. Like, they're not saying they're not going to do toxology and all of that. They're just saying that it's possible, and I believe the mom is fighting for the results to not be released publicly due to her being a minor. And that is probably what's going to happen. That's the excuse that they're using in Summer's case as well. Everyone help us. Everyone help find this little girl, but we can't tell you anything. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, so what the hell are we doing?
Yeah.
That makes it so frustrating to do this. Like, there are a lot of people like, I'm not saying that I'm a good researcher, because I'm good at, if you give me something and say, look at this and tell me your thoughts, I'm good at that. I'm good at analyzing. I'm not good at researching, and there's a difference. But there are some people out there, some YouTubers who are very good at research. Cher is one of them. She can figure out so much stuff and call these people and call that people and email these guys. She knows how to go to people to get information. Now, it would be even better if we had the means to go to these locations.
Like, actually get there, yeah. If COVID wasn't a thing,
Yeah, and maybe someday we'll get there.
Someday.
But, yeah. I totally lost track of where I was going with that.
You look nice.
But there, yeah. Oh, yeah, because law enforcement always says social media is like a curse. It makes cases worse. And, well, that's kind of law enforcement's fault, because you won't tell people anything. People want answers. So we try to find them because you're not telling anybody anything.
Yeah. Report, report, report. So we're all doing everything in our power. And what are we doing? We're reporting because that's what's right. And then we're being dogged for... Now the report's coming in because all these web sleuths want to be here. Take some freaking whatever. That cop that sent whoever those applications.
Job
straight
applications.
Douche. I mean, that was funny, but straight douche, because I know what I've gone through just in the Summerwells case alone.
I'd take a job with Hawkins County just so I could get access to all the Summerwells information.
For $16.95, you make more at McDonald's these days than you are a Hawkins County sheriff. That's sad.
That's why they can't keep guys.
Yeah.
I get it. They are understaffed, and they, we would like to think that whenever something happens like this, a girl goes missing, that law enforcement could just drop everything, devote all their time and attention until they find her. That's not the way it works. They have other cases. They have other crimes.
Exactly why they shouldn't be bashing us web sleuths.
That's exactly right. That was going to be my point. There are some people on YouTube who are in true crime who are not doing anything true crime. We all know this. I'm pretty much one of them. I'm not, I try, but I don't have enough time with work and everything to really dive into a case and really give you guys something worth watching. So, I'm kind of one of them. But then there are others like Cher and Jay for Justice and Alex Erickson, who go to these places, who get information, who research. They are the ones that law enforcement should be approaching.
You said me before Jay?
I did.
You said me before Jay?
I did.
Time?
You're my favorite YouTuber.
Ah, Don't tell Jay.
Sorry, Jay. Well, she ain't watching anyway. She's probably streaming it on her own channel. But anyways, like, we know that there are some YouTubers who just put out shit. There are some YouTubers who do nothing but bitch about other YouTubers, which is retarded. But we also know that there are some YouTubers who put a lot of effort into finding information to put out to the public. Law enforcement should be reaching out to these YouTubers. If they don't have the manpower, which they all say they don't have the ability to cover this whole mess of stuff that they need to go through, sift through, and look for evidence, well, then tap somebody. Use us. Point us somewhere. We're going to be doing it anyway, so we might as well be working together. It's not a competition. We're not doing it to make law enforcement look bad. We're doing it to find answers. We don't give a shit if it makes law enforcement look good or not, which is why they hate us. But we just want answers. We just want the truth. We want to know what happened. So why is law enforcement not approaching some of these YouTubers and saying, go in this direction, look here, see what you find, and come back to us. If there's anything viable, we will pursue that. But we have 100 different avenues that we need to cover, and we just don't have the manpower. Help us. Like, why the hell not? Yeah, I saw that, Xena. AWP is hiring. Oh yeah, I'd love to be one of their cameramen or their editor, but it won't work from so far away. Oh, thanks so much, Randy. Yeah, I hope we'll get there someday, because that's really the big goal. I mean, we have our joint channel that we want to just be about our life. And like, basically our dream would be to just like have an RV and tour around, visit all these states, look into all these unsolved crimes, put the footage of the unsolved crimes on this channel and Cher's Voice Behind the Wall, and all the in-between on Mr. and Mrs. Cher. So it's basically, we're just like traveling web sleuths. And we're just a couple, just a family, doing our thing. So, I mean, that's the goal. And my ultimate goal is to actually make documentaries. Now that's a long ways off. But yeah. You got an RV you'll sell me? Sweet, Rexy. Right now, unless it's for $5, I can't buy it. We gotta save some money. We had Cher go meet her dad this year, and then we got her kids are coming up in probably January. So yeah, we gotta pinch our pennies and get ready for that. But yeah, we'll get there someday. And I'll keep on working as a carpenter as long as I can. And yeah, just keep banging away at it. Well, Ghost, I get what you're saying, and I agree in a way. But I see no problem with law enforcement being able to just say, hey, we don't have the manpower to cover all this stuff, talk to all these people. And if we look at Kiely Rodni's case, law enforcement was absolutely fine with a teenage girl being the go-between interviewer with all the kids. So I don't think that's the reason. I think the reason they don't is because they don't want to look bad. Just want to say, as a diver, when recovering the vehicle, they should have never flipped it underwater and scoured the windows. Well, we have to talk with a vehicle recovery expert. But I would assume, like just my own thinking, that dragging it up would definitely break more. I don't know if there's a better way to flip vehicles so there's less damage. I don't know. But yeah, I would think dragging it up would have been worse. But I could be wrong. This case is so much like Courtney Struble. It is. Yeah. Nobody will talk. They'll just point a finger at someone else. Bet Hawkins County hasn't interviewed a single YouTuber. I bet they haven't. And they should. But yeah, I mean, if we look at Summerwell's case, it's been coming up on a year and a half since she went missing. A year and 3 months, 4 months. So, I mean, they've got nothing. They basically have said that. So, at that point, why not give the public everything you got? What's it going to hurt? Or why not tap more private investigators and web sleuths, YouTubers and stuff, especially like web sleuths, because we can do it, a lot of it, from anywhere in the world. But at that point, why not? Why not try? I mean, even if you have to like do some kind of contract and say that you can't broadcast the information we give you once it's deemed viable or not, then you can go on your YouTube channel and talk about what you found or didn't find. Fine. And any of us YouTubers would 100%, if we really want answers, we would sign that contract. Randy Hinman, thank you. Much appreciated, dude. Yeah, even if they close it, there's no statute of limitations on murder. But if they rule it an accident, they're obviously not going to be looking at anything. Yep. That's exactly it. Because if they do this, if they were to, say, tap Cher, say, okay, we can't get in touch with these people, see what you can do. And Cher gets in touch with them and finds evidence and this and that, and it solves the case. Well, then law enforcement kind of looks bad. Because Cher is doing their job. But if they have some kind of contract or whatever, where, you know, they have been approached by law enforcement, asked to assist and yada, 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 and it works, then it's not looked at as like such a stigma. So they need to do that rather than just curse at us and say we're not helping, when there have been plenty of cases where YouTubers have helped. Randy Hinman, how do you contribute? You just watch the channel, share it out on your other social media if you have any. Being a member is a great one, so I appreciate that. That's, yeah. The biggest one is sharing it out. The more people come in, the more the channel grows. Do you have a TV program like here in the UK called Crime Watch? Oh, I'm sure we do. We don't have regular TV. We just got internet, so. My cousin was by 6 high school boys. One ended up cracking during finals and turned everyone in. It is possible. Well, I'm so sorry that happened to your cousin. Oh my God. Phew. If YouTubers can do it for free, then cops won't get money for funding. Well, then they have to pay us. I mean, if law enforcement were to, let's say, Hawkins County, reach out to someone who's local there, a local YouTuber, and say, we cannot talk to these people. They won't talk to cops. Maybe they'll talk to you. We would like to deputize you and see if you could go in there, undercover, whatever, and yeah, and we will pay you. Well, then it is sort of law enforcement. I mean, they have to rely on experts for all aspects of law enforcement, right? Like you got detectives that train for years. You've got, they need scientific professionals, medical professionals to provide, information about what had happened to a person, their state of mind, yada, yada, yada. So, like hiring people who are good at investigating to look into cases, cold cases. I see nothing wrong with it. Cold case stuff here up in Canada is a joke. I mean, we can't even talk to the person involved in this Courtney Stribble case. Like, how is that going to get solved when they won't even talk to people who want to help? That makes no sense. I didn't see what was going on, but I see Darzilla just put Jody Sue. Jody Sue's become her own punchline. Like, if you want to tell any kind of joke in the true crime community, like, why'd the chicken cross the road? Jody Sue! And it's kind of fun. Yeah. Quite a life she lives. Yeah, they're going to have answers in 2 weeks. So maybe they will move up their press conference thing that they scheduled for November. But yeah, either way, we're not going away till we get some answers. But all right, y'all, I'm getting hungry. I'm going to have to go and start hunting down some dinner. But to the new members, thank you very much. To everyone who gave super chats, really appreciate it. Goes a long way. And we love you. And just all of you showing up and spending your free time on this channel. I appreciate you. All 192 of you. You guys are awesome. So I don't know if Cher's going to go live tonight, but if not, I'll be live tomorrow. And yeah, you know us. We live on YouTube on the weekend, so we'll be seeing you. So thanks for watching. God bless. And until the next one, this is True Crime Productions with Prairie Boy 77, a.k.a. Prairie Boy 77, a.k.a. Mr. Cher, a.k.a. the Beard of Reason, a.k.a. the Voice of Reason, saying good day, good night, and Godspeed. Love, 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 love.